Alright, Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, everyone. This is Margonian Whispers in Shadow. Our primary skills are archery, which I've mastered. Short blade, which is maxed. You'll notice that you can only have one mastered skill per character, and that's archery. So short blade's 95. Critical strike is getting its way up there. They're all agility skills. Agility's 90. My major skills are lockpicking, pickpocket, streetwise. My minor skills are stealth, mercantile, and my magics are restoration, which is for restoring stamina, mysticism, which is for teleportation, and thaumaturgy, which is for levitation, and then illusion, which I just use to create candles for no reason. So, yes, I ping Discord every time I am starting a stream. I actually had to restart the stream like 6 or 7 times because the settings weren't working just right. So, you know, what we're going to do today, we're probably going to do like an hour or two of Daggerfall, maybe a little longer, but not much longer than that. And then I was going to play Warframe, and that's because I need to get caught up on the Nightwave stuff. At least that's the plan. For now, we're going through this dungeon because we have to find a wand. This is the second wand quest in a row that we've received. This lady's wand was stolen. We need to get it back from some orc. We kill the orc, get the wand, or we find the wand on the ground in the dungeon. It could be either way. So we just looped around there, no problem. Actually going to climb down here. Yeah, we're climbing down. All right, no problem there. I'm going to try to kill that scorpion from a distance instead of... there we go. We killed it from a distance. We don't have to worry about meleeing the scorpion. There's a lot of problems with that when you try at times. Climbing up. Get my arrows from the scorpion's corpse. Very good. Dead end room. Not a connector to another module. Important to know. The dead end or connector, it's randomized, so you never know what connects where. There's an orc. That is an Orc Warlord. Not quite the most beefy, but still. Going to... oh, my lantern flickered and died. Whatever shall I do? Shove more oil in it, in the middle of combat even. Don't care. There we go. We have 2 oil left, so if it burns out again, we have to run back to the entrance. No big deal. Something we have to pay attention to. A resource to manage, as it were. Usually one enemy in this type of room. Daedroth, okay. That could be painful. I'm going to go ahead and throw a fireball in there. Damn right. Emerald of Fireballs did its job. 1,000 gold. Daedra, in general, seem to drop 1,000 gold, I notice. Same thing for liches and ancient vampires. Like, the highest ranked monsters all seem to drop about 1,000 gold. Okay, I want to check this out. Looks like this is all a part of the starting module, so I have not gone into a different dungeon module. I'm just kind of looping around the same damn thing. Actually, I left the module and then I came back in, it looks like, based on this. Yeah, it looks like we, because this is the door and this is the door, and you can see the vertical slant. Let me zoom in over here and try to show you what I'm talking about. So this module here is where the game started. Like, you can see the green point is where I entered the dungeon. This whole like section here is one module, and this is a second module that links in. You can see it links in 2 spots, but this should be a whole different section, but doesn't seem to be. It just seems to be trash. That's unfortunate. I was hoping to find another module link, but instead I'm going to have to go through the water down here and regret it immediately. I think it's all just one module with extra side rooms. There should definitely be water down there if I know what I'm going on about. Because if it's a second module, then there are parts of it that we just don't see right now. We're going to leap over that. Damn right. Okay. Ooh, Daedric Claymore. In that, so I can remove that whole conversation. Actually, I look down like, oh crap, YouTube is gonna flag this shit. Okay, so there we go. Aforementioned Discord moderator was let's just say he was a furry and he advocated not so good content. And when people found out about it, they reported it to the media, and the media shined a light on it. And as we all know, the best disinfectant is sunlight. So those people quickly became quiet, and Discord quickly changed their policy. quickly changed their policy. All right. Here we go. You say that 4chan made the OK hand a symbol of hate, but let me Google something. Thanks, phone. Let me see. So I'm going to. I googled drinking milk racist. That's what I just googled here, and as you can see, milk is now a white supremacist symbol. Okay, so don't bother. Don't bother even giving a shit anymore. Just do what you want to do, and as long as you aren't like actively working to spread hate, I think you'll be just fine. I seriously think you'll be just fine. Interesting. These fish, I apparently can't use them. You drink almond milk? I just today bought a carton of almond milk for a recipe. Actually, not to actually drink. I would drink regular milk. Thank you very much. But no, I mean I have a recipe that calls for almond milk, and so yeah, go. Ooh. Oh no. There's a substantial difference between regular milk and almond milk and how it interacts with recipes. Oh. Right. Checking arrow shot woman. Problem there. Nothing here. Ooh, is this game right here my favorite? Yes, it is. In the Elder Scrolls series. But keep in mind, you're getting a completely different experience out of Daggerfall than you are out of Morrowind, Oblivion, or Skyrim. Because one is a fantasy life simulator, the other is a handcrafted sandbox RPG. And if you just narrowed it down to Morrowind, Oblivion, or Skyrim, it's Morrowind by a country mile. But Skyrim has a lot of modding potential, so even if Skyrim isn't my favorite, I can still enjoy it with the proper mods to support whatever kind of playstyle I want to do. But remember, role-playing in Skyrim is often fighting the system, like really fighting the system, because it wants you to play one way, it wants you to have one outcome to all your quests and things like that. So very often, declining someone just means don't seek out and do that content, right? Because the game actually wants you to be a jack of all trades, master of all. We're going to backstab this orc. And so, now Oblivion, I can't talk about very much because I enjoy the game. I like the sandbox in the world. It's just, it is terrible for modding. I mean, it's unstable as hell, so... great, I'm gonna fall in the water here and die. Let me go ahead and use a heal true potion. No. We got a drag here. We got to fight. We're completely drenched. We're going to die. Don't worry about it. Climb, please. Climb, I say. How do I climb? I need to use buoyancy. Yes. But yeah, I mean, I don't really, I don't really like, comparing, Skyrim to Daggerfall too much. I do it. But, the more I think about it, I honestly feel like these are different, far too different games. Jeez, come on. Morrowind to Skyrim, on the other hand, they're both the same type of game, so you should absolutely do that. Morrowind and Skyrim are the same type of game. They're both fantasy sandbox RPGs. And yes, they did ruin Marco and Oblivion. Absolutely. They definitely did that. All right, I'm freezing to death. Let's put up a camping kit. So, I noticed that once again, they kind of ruined the salted fish. I can't use them, which makes me sad. Thankfully, I have a bag of rations, so it's no big deal. It's just grumble, grumble. All right, we're going to set up a campfire, and we're going to rest for an hour. Rest for an hour. There we go. And we should be warm now. No, we're still soaking wet, so 2 hours. Rest for 2 hours. Okay. Yeah, well, the side quests aren't a big deal. Oblivion side quests are pretty much all fun for what they do. Some of them are a bit silly, like Umbacambro, whatever his name was, where he becomes an evil alien king, and the text explicitly says he's evil now, and I'm just like, okay. Like, it just flat out says that, like, he's evil now. And I'm just like, okay. That's very subtle, and obviously good writing. Troll. Let me see here. Ooh. Oh, nice. Well, let's go ahead and activate the magical MacGuffin device. Okay, my target is up there, not in the water. Good. Well then, let's just climb. Yes, God damn it, climb. There we go. We're climbing over the side there. I didn't want to fall in the water again. That would have been bad. Hey, Kamer, how's it going? Yeah, we had an issue with the... apparently, this version keeps making our fish unusable when we load our save file. And we have to buy new fish every time. It makes me sad. I'm going to have a chit-chat with the survival mod creator, unfortunately. Keep going here. Ooh. I see the connector. Okay. Down this way. I'll shoot him a message. Thanks. Okay. Go this way. The Twin Brothers quest was fun. Yes. Rescue his place from orcs. Ogres. Yeah. You need to reclaim his land. And, like, the one brother who's a drunk and destitute meets with the other brother. I like that. I like that story. It isn't complex or anything. Nothing in Oblivion is. But it's entertaining. And I liked it. Let me see. You have to figure out exactly where I'm going because I'm being stupid. Let me see. Loop around to the right. Ooh. Yes. Damn it. Okay. Daedric, let's drop the Dwarven War Axe. Let's also drop the Dragon Scales. Grab the Mithril. Grab the Ebony. Just curious if there's any... I need to keep the Ectoplasm, but I can probably drop some of these miscellaneous items to pick up the War Axe. Yes, I can. Very good. Very good. Yeah, pretty much. My hopes for Elder Scrolls 6 are many and aplenty, and my expectations are, unfortunately, Skyrim 2. As in, let's just say not the best game ever. Hold on. We have to figure this out. Okay. My quest target is over there. Looks like, aha, we found a new section. So this might lead into the new module. Check here. So we set a check there marker, and now we need to go downstairs. Should be able to get to over this way. Yes. Aside from its modability, I don't actually have very fond memories of Skyrim. Skyrim did absolutely bring to the table a lot of, I would say, memorable characters, but they're usually memorable for being one-dimensional and kind of garbage. Like Nazim. You get to the Cloud District very often. Ah, crap, a scorpion. Let's back up, let's back up. Yes. Okay. I mean, we know about the one blacksmith in Whiterun who can't fill an order that size on her own and, you know, says she's not the best blacksmith in Whiterun. You should go see Yorling Greymane. You know, actively detracting from her own business. And, like, there's just so much wrong with, with Skyrim's characters. I mean, they're memorable. I very clearly remember them. It's very difficult to remember anyone other than Martin and Joffrey, you know, who actually follow you around in Oblivion. So Skyrim has that over Oblivion, for sure, is memorable characters. Unfortunately, again, they're memorable for being one-dimensional. So, the Bayazura! He's more of a cartoon. That's the best way to put it. Okay, I'm in the correct module. I just need to go downstairs. Huh. Hanged people. Very good. Those people are just hanging out, I assume. Oh, God, no! Got it. The twins and the farm guys are the same. You guys are arguing whether they are or not? Huh. I thought they were. I thought it was literally find the twins, and then the twins want to reclaim their father's farm afterward. That's what I thought it was all about. Yes. I liked the structure of the Mages Guild in Oblivion, though. The, in Oblivion, the Mages Guild, had you do a job for each, like, guild hall to get admission to the Arcane University, because apparently a lot of people just show up and be like, look at me, I'm a wizard! And the Arcane University is like, you're a garbage wizard, train more. And you can't go into the university. It made sense. So you needed a referral from every hall, which just basically meant go travel the game. Now, I would have preferred it if you could, you know, actually go up through any one hall, but, you know, they decided they wanted you to travel and do, they just produced one quest for each, which was kind of silly. I didn't mind it, though. I enjoyed that part of the quest. I did not like the later content, though, once you actually go to the Arcane University. I liked the university itself. I liked the side NPCs and all of the other content that existed there, but when we got to the actual university quests, it was disappointing. Just saying. Now, let's see. No stamina spell. Got it. Ooh, fishing a well out of a ring shouldn't have gotten you a recommendation. Well, it wasn't just fishing the ring out of the well. You basically shined a light on the fact that there was that this guy was trying to kill apprentices. And, you basically shined a light on corrupt politics within the Mages Guild, which allowed you to get the recommendation. That's really what it was. Is you didn't earn the recommendation so much as you showed you shined a light on the fact that this guy was trying to kill his own apprentices, and now you need that they need to give you that recommendation because oh boy, it's oh wait, hold on a second. Checking something. Yes. Well, there's a lot wrong with Azura in general. Daggerfall's Azura is is hilarious, and nothing like the Morrowind one. And that's, I guess, my main beef with the Elder Scrolls is they keep recycling the same names. It's not just that she was naked; it's that she let me see. Let me read her script here for clicking. Whoops, I was on image search. Here we go. So Azura in Daggerfall, if we just pull up the UESP article, not only was she topless in this game, but she also says something like, "You dare to summon forth Azura of the Crimson Gate pleading for power. I doubt very much you're worthy of such a favor. In fact, I don't know if you're worthy. In fact, I doubt it very much. I suppose that if I demanded you murder a priest who'd been saying very, very rude things about me, that you would refuse even that small, simple request for me. And if you say no," she goes, "No, you're supposed to say yes. You're supposed to say yes, beautiful Azura. I would gladly murder at the snap of your ivory fingers. Boor, bigot, barbarian. Now I must go before I forget I'm a lady and say something I'll regret." That is Azura from Daggerfall. She's she is not the same as Morrowind. Morrowind completely twists her personality, which is hilarious, into some. Okay, literally. Oh, jolly good. Well, this particularly awful priest is also a healer, if that means anything. Isn't that typical? Usual, these self-righteous types. Now, the priest has been cleansing or some ridiculous thing. Anyway, why don't you go over there and stick a sword in him or something? And then scurry over to the town, and my worshiper will give you my star. That's enough power for anyone. Yes. Exactly. So, no, I honestly, I like the Azura that they created in Morrowind. My problem is that they changed the character instead of creating new characters. They could have created a new Daedra. Instead, they're recycling all the old Daedra. And every time I see them radically change a character, like Manny Marco, why don't you just create a new Necromancer Lord who's risen up in Manny Marco's place? Maybe even like Manny Marco's High Priest, since he became the God of Worms in universe, by the way. Like, they could have done so much with, but they just want to stay on brand. And it's like Fallout. Super mutant check, rad scorpion check. Why are rad scorpions on the East Coast? I understand seeing them in the Mojave Wasteland, or even in New California. That makes sense. But why? Um, why are they why are they over on the East Coast too? Like, why are mole rats and death claws and like all the same creatures everywhere? And the answer is because Bethesda isn't creative. I mean, they make fun sandboxes, and I enjoy playing them. But if you want to look into depth in the actual into world building, actual world building from a writing perspective, not a check off the tropes perspective. Bethesda sucks. They really do. They were pretty good for a time, but that time was only during its formative years, and that's why Tamriel is so interesting. Is because we had a couple really good writers, and they're gone now. So yeah. Dude, do you ever stream Fallout? I did for a while. I will again. I definitely will again. Probably not Fallout 76, though. And if I do, it'll be for a short time. In fact, if you go onto my YouTube channel, you can probably find this target, by the way. But you can probably find on my YouTube channel a little bit of Fallout 76 and my quote-unquote Vaultborn run. Now, I did take down a lot of content that I had on YouTube, and people got kind of uppity about that. But it's a case of, how do I put this? Videos that had inaccurate or outdated or, let's just put it like this, information that, there are a lot of different cases where I'm just like, you know what? It's not worth, like, posting retractions or going through, like, every stream I ever did. For one thing, YouTube streams were like covered in copyright claims to the point where other people were getting money from my streams. I'm just like, who the hell are you? Like, I just, rather than fighting each individual copyright claim and or like downloading and editing each individual stream, I went and took down all my YouTube streams, other than very specific ones, which were that I really wanted to keep, and I challenged those. So they'll have 30 days to respond to my challenges. And, like the Vaultborn streams, and let's see, what else? The Vaultborn streams, my Relic Hunter, specifically the Aldmeri Nobleman. Like, those series, I went ahead and I just said, you know what, I'm going to challenge these. I want to keep this series up. But, like, all the other shit, I just said, this isn't a battle I want to fight today, but I'm not giving you my my money anymore. And I just took those down. So, I'll put them back up when I'm in a position where I actually want to challenge them, if I do. But I also have to review those streams, see what I said and things of that nature, because opinions change over time, and unfortunately, things being on YouTube or on Twitch isn't a permanent it's not seen in the law as a permanent record. It's more like this is being served to new people all the time. So you're not only responsible for the things you say now, but you're responsible for the things that you said like 5 years ago, provided you leave it up. In other words, you are still serving it to people. Therefore, you are still responsible for the things you said back then. And it's very interesting, because it'd be like you have a magazine, right? But you are continually republishing those old articles, basically reserving them to new people. So there's a lot of interesting precedent in that fact. So I just said, you know what? All this stuff that I don't have time to vet, investigate to discover, I'm just going to take all that stuff down for now. I've gone through the Aldmeri Nobleman. I've gone through the Vaultborn run, so I know those are good. But like a bunch of old Daggerfall VODs and stuff like that, which are unrelated to this, and a bunch of Fallout 4 stuff, which is again unrelated to this, I went ahead and I took down. just for now. And it's a case of I have all the files, I can restore them whenever I need to, but I can't in good conscience be serving those to people with what's going on right now as far as like what I've said in the past versus what I believe now versus different concepts. So I just said, you know, I'm going to protect myself legally and just kind of private all these videos, and that's what I did. And I went over I spent a day going over my opinion videos, like just where I'm sitting here talking in front of the camera. And out of all of them, I only needed to take down 2. So, but those were due to outdated or inaccurate information that might lead to purchases that people would regret, let's just say. Anyway, this is the staff, I believe. Yes, we found the wand. So that's quest complete. You know, it's unfortunate from a viewer's perspective where they're like, but I wanted to see that old content. It's like, yeah, if I could edit that in real time and put like a disclaimer up, but unfortunately, people have stated explicitly that the video description and video title aren't enough. Like disclosures and things like that need to be done in the video itself in a way that is how did they put it? Unavoidable by the viewer. Unavoidable by the viewer. So let's put it like this: YouTube is very interesting in that sense. I'm gonna drop all the fish since apparently I can't eat them. That makes me sad. Yep, the fish are just on that Daedrith corpse. It's sorry here. How do you think they'll end the Dragonborn character? They'll not mention him. He'll be like the Eternal Champion. You know where they didn't reference the Eternal Champion at all? By the way, he just kind of was the main character of Elder Scrolls 1 and was never brought up again. Coffins. A lot of coffins. There'll be headcanon back and forth about what happened to him, but, you know, I don't expect any information there. Yep. Ooh, said biggest issue is this should all be their job. Yes. It should be in theory, but if it was, they wouldn't have opened it up to everybody. If it was their job, they would have kept a small, curated list of people. Like they would just be like, okay, these top, say 50 content creators, we'll go ahead and let them post to our site. Everyone else, get the fuck out. Like, we can manage these 50 people or these 100 people. That's what would happen if they had to take responsibility for all that. It would be larger than they could manage, and they would close the floodgates and basically say no. You said the problem with YouTube, it curates arbitrarily. Yes, it does curate arbitrarily. All right. Well, I'm gonna drop these books, grab the mithril. Can I grab? Yeah, I can't have 2 books. That's fine. You should be okay. Yeah, I really can't wait to see what's coming in the future. As far as how do I put this? Updates to games, things like that. I'm mildly excited. What happened to Mithril in Skyrim? Or what happened to Adamantium in Oblivion? Is Adamantium in Oblivion? I don't remember. I should do another Tale of Two Wastelands. Okay, I don't want to do Tale of Two Wastelands until they update. So the main developer of Tale of Two Wastelands is like, he realized something. He went through a you know, like, oh my god. He realized that Fallout New Vegas's mechanics are terrible compared to Fallout 3's. And yet Fallout 3's storyline and reputation system and everything is terrible compared to New Vegas. So now what's going to happen is he's basically, along with like some other partner, they're all working together, and they're going to bring Fallout 3's like higher end difficulty and things like that to New Vegas, and change New Vegas's armor system back to Fallout 3's. Basically fix things up and kind of make a better synthesis of the two games. In other words, we've already got Fallout New Vegas's reputation systems in the Capital Wasteland. We managed to, have that implemented. That wasn't a big deal. It's an optional plugin right now, but it'll be like fully integrated. I hear anyway. I could be wrong, but the main idea is, okay, so what people tend to do in Tale of Two Wastelands is they play through all of Fallout 3's content and then want to move on to the next bit of content in New Vegas, right? But by the time they do that, New Vegas is a joke. It's super easy. So the idea is they're going to release a difficulty module alongside of the new Tale of Two Wastelands. This isn't going to be for like 6 to 8 months. It's going to be a while. But when they do, it's going to be, you're going to be able to play through all of Fallout 3 and, its DLCs, and then go into New Vegas, and it's going to be appropriately difficult. It's not just going to be super easy. So, that's the problem, is you're basically a god character by the time you finish Fallout 3. And so when you want to then transition from Fallout 3 to New Vegas, you're like, oh god, I'm overpowered. What am I going to do? So there you go. He said, what happened to the Staff of Magnus? Oh my god. Well, here's a real question. Why was the Staff of Magnus in Labyrinthian, and why wasn't Labyrinthian the way it was in Elder Scrolls 1? An actual labyrinth. Hold on a second. I'm going to go mute the microphone so I can hawk up a large, unsavory noise here. There we go. The kind of thing you don't do in front of company. But helps your own comfort. All right. There we go. Labyrinths take time and effort to make. I know. That's, you see, I wasn't actually asking for an answer from you when I said, why isn't Labyrinthian the same? I was more or less pointing it out. Wasn't actually expecting an answer from you. No, I was making a loud hawking noise as I spit up something that had gotten down from my nose. You know how you half swallow something? The lovely kind of thing you shouldn't do in front of company, and that's why I muted my microphone. But yeah, went from my nose to my throat and was like, okay. Yep. 3 gave you a perk every level, which means the PC player became too powerful too quickly. Well, yes, but it's not just that. It's that New Vegas doesn't have scaling, okay? Like, not to the same extent. Randomly generated encounters, like based on scripts, in Fallout New Vegas were scaled, but 99% of the content in Fallout New Vegas is unscaled, meaning you go to a specific area and it is as strong as it is, and based on the paradigm that the player is going to be level 1, and then they're going to start going in a direction, and so certain clusters are harder than others. And the idea is Tale of Two Wastelands puts the player through an entire wasteland before they even get to Fallout New Vegas. So obviously the player is the player's way ahead of the game, and everything is geared towards you being level 1 when you get there. You said the DLCs in New Vegas improve the difficulty, but those are their own sandboxes, so they don't count. The DLCs in Fallout 3 and the DLCs in Fallout New Vegas do not count because they're their own little sandbox encounters, basically. Yep. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, any point you want to make with the DLCs just is invalid for the concept of Tale of Two Wastelands, where you're going to travel from one wasteland to another. Like, you may have done some of the DLC content in Fallout 3, and that's fine. That's fine. But whether you did or not, you're still going to be massively overpowered. You said Fallout 4 is your favorite? I think Fallout 4 is the most moddable of the Fallout games. And so you can have some really fun experiences, like War of the Commonwealth, for example, is just delightful, I found. Like, War of the Commonwealth is just so stupid that it's fun. Let's see, did I play Narum's Steam version? Narum's Steam version doesn't want to work on Linux, and I've been too lazy to pop into Windows to actually play it. I have a Windows partition I can use anytime I want. I just, I look at it and I'm like, oh, Narum wants to update. Let's update it right now and see how big the download is. I'm curious. So it looks like 3.5 gigabytes. What? No, stop. Stop right now. Stop. I'm not downloading 3 gigabytes right now. I thought it was going to be like 5 megabytes or something, but no, Narum wants to fully re-download, apparently. So that's interesting. But no, what happens if I try to launch Narum is, whoops, I gotta run, my dagger broke. Narum basically says your Steam, your Oblivion, and your Narum folders all have to be on the same drive. And I'm like, no, I don't install games on my operating system drive. What's wrong with you? And that's my current situation. Is yeah, that's Narum in a nutshell. Okay, let's see here. Broken. So I got 1 dagger left. Let's kill that scorpion. By kill that scorpion, I actually mean use my what do you call it? I've got a gem. Wait, do I not have the gem? I thought I had a gem of fireballs. Did my gem of fireballs break? Oh God, my gem of fireballs broke. What about you, gauntlets of levitation? Damn it, I know what those are. Okay, that's it then. Toga of lightning. Let's get it with lightning. Believe. Did the lightning ball just disappear? Screw it. Yes. What brand is the best one? I don't know if there's a best one, but I tend to go with Samsung Evos myself for the purposes of SSDs, and you'll get conflicting reports as to their quality. Yeah, let's see here. I have had no problems with them myself. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and healing torque, and let's go. Remember that the vast majority of people who buy an SSD or a hard drive are going to go and complain only when something breaks. The result is that you're not going to get a good sense of how many people used it and enjoyed versus how many people used it and it broke, because the only time people go and I'm gonna rate it 0 stars because I'm angry it broke, there's a disproportionately high amount of those people as opposed to the people who just use it and enjoy and never go back to review it. Yes. Now, let me figure out what we're going to do here. I'm going to drop I guess, the Dwarven Saber and Axe and get that Daedric. Grab the Dwarven Saber again. Yeah, we're done here. I could explore more, but there's really no point. There's an orc there. You can see him through the wall. Can't really shoot him through this. It kind of borks the arrows. But you loop around here and you'll see him. Doesn't matter though. I'm gonna teleport out. We're going back now. Recall. Teleport. This should take us to the princess, I believe. You see here. Oh, I fell through the floor again. That is a persistent problem with Daggerfall, I find, is that I will teleport back to a place I haven't been in a while, and it will reset my position. I'll be falling through the world. So I do trance out, which teleports me back out to town. And then I can go back in. Now, it does not unlock, so we're actually back in town. Unfortunately, the door is shut. So, yeah, this has been a semi-persistent issue. Now, I admit in Daggerfall, like the vanilla engine, when that happens, the game just breaks. It just crashes. So, that's nice. You know, yeah. At least I can fix it with a console command. You know, trance out, and it's fixed. But in the vanilla game, when you have a similar issue, the game just crashes. So, yeah. It doesn't happen for the same reasons, but because Daggerfall Unity is programmed differently. It's just, it's something to understand. Yeah, over here. There we go. This is a room I can sleep in. We just need to sleep until morning. No big deal. Dodging an orcish skill went up. I learned how to communicate with the savages that I usually kill. Thinking about this. Okay, step 1, we're going to use light. Step 2, we're going to use jumping. Step 3, we're going to use buoyancy. Why are we using buoyancy? Doesn't matter. So, we've used all these spells, and we're going to climb. No, orcs are considered monsters to be slain. They are bad. In fact, they occupy a small region. You may know about it. It's called Orsinium. And those are the only civilized orcs. The rest of them develop arcane weapons to kill humans and, you know, are generally known to conquer forts and steal magical relics and, you know, do all the bad orc stuff. It turns out that they are considered not people at all. Like, orcs are flat out considered not people under the Empire until they gain what's called orcish equality. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. They gain orcish equality. Let me go over to the Daggerfall ending for the orcs. If you decide to side with the orcs, because you absolutely can side with them. And here's the ending for that.
Under the command of Gorthwalk, Dominion destroys the other powers of Neelian Bay, Daggerfall, Sentinel, and Wayrest. The new orcish homeland is carved out in Orsinium, and the Empire will never be able to dispute Gorthwalk's claim to orcish equality.
See? Orcish equality is something that happens. Yeah.
Claim to orcish equality.
Yep. They are discriminated against in this game. And as a part of the orc ending, they gain equality. Alright, so, let me see here. Is the retcon when they're playable in Morrowind? No. Morrowind, well, yes, actually. Morrowind, no. Well, yes. Okay, so it's called The Warp in the West, and they basically retconned it so all of Daggerfall's endings happened simultaneously. They were basically too much of a sissy to to actually pick an ending, and they wanted to respect all the players' endings simultaneously, which was stupid. Let's see here. Yeah, everything did and didn't happen. Bingo. It's a bit dumb. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, the Elder Scrolls novel, it turns out, canonized the Argonians rushing the gates, which is like, okay, I guess. It's just, there are certain people in the community who are, they have like this fetish for lizard people. I mean, it's really disturbing. It's not like, hey, I like playing as an Argonian, like me, okay? Like, I like playing as an Argonian. It's kind of fun. These people are like obsessed with Argonian lore, and they like draw naked, scaly people, and they go play Second Life and play a dragon person. The point is, those are the people who are. I'm looking at the unfortunate priest, and I'm like, yeah, those sort of people, you know, the people with a real fetish for it. Anyway, yeah. So what ended up happening is that particular subset of people tend to harp on that sort of Argonian rushing the gates thing, and it was originally a theory, but it became canonized through the one of the Elder Scrolls novels. Unfortunately, how do I put this? Those novels, they're all right, but Gregory Keyes, the author, has done better, much better, and I'm just like, why? Why is this not nearly as good as your Kingdoms of Thorn and Bone series? And I guess the answer is because he was working with Bethesda. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just, and the people who are used to really garbage Elder Scrolls writing, they look at these and they go, "This is amazing. These are great," and they are great by Elder Scrolls standards. But if you look at the dude's other work, he's done better. And that's unfortunate. Anyway, buy bandages. Buy fish. Yes. Ooh, buy bandages again. Good. Oh, buy bandage? Yes. Kingdom of Thorn and Bone, yes. Ooh. Let's see here. Kingdoms, plural. Sorry. Moving on. We are going to go this while. We're going to go over to the Mages Guild, I figure. We're just kind of hanging out in this town, which is next to... Wait, what time is it? Nope, not time yet. The palace opens around 11, I think. So we can't turn in our quest yet. Someone needs their magic wand retooled. Mages Guild also opens at 11. Let's go down to the Champion Armor and check that place out while we wait. We're just waiting for some time to pass. Ooh, Kingdoms of Thorn and Bone. You can go onto Amazon and, you know, buy the damn book. That's how books work. You purchase them, and then you read them. All right. Let's see here. Superior Antiquities. They open at 9. We can just wait out here. Yes. Oh. Good. It's kind of funny because the sleeping tree is a reference from the novel, basically. In Skyrim, the little sleeping tree there. Yeah. It's a reference to the Umbriel Hist. Alright, let's see here. We're just waiting for the damn place to open. You can see I'm just standing on this building, kind of jumping up and down. It's, you can see in the bottom corner of the screen the time. Got 5 minutes left. No problem there. Okay. Be here. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. Mike muted? That's lovely. That's lovely. I wonder how that happened. Okay. I was gonna say, what I said before the mic got muted, magically, was that, let's see here. The reason they never, added in the climbing skill, was because, it was too difficult to make surfaces that were solid. If you look at this right here, in the vanilla game, you climb like this, right? And you would stop right here. You wouldn't be able to get over this. Daggerfall Unity lets you climb up through it anyway. No problem. Like the Unity engine fixes that problem. You would normally just be stuck on this, and you'd only be able to climb on something that is, like in the vanilla game, you can only climb on things that are completely vertical. But the advanced climbing system allows you to do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's very good. Like, it's very well designed. Like this, like in the vanilla game, you'd actually be able to climb up this, but you have to understand, with more advanced technology, they ended up creating surfaces that were not just straight boxes, straight walls. They were all shaped differently, and climbing them would be a pain in the ass. It would break a lot of Morrowind's... it would break on a lot of Morrowind surfaces, so they just decided it wasn't worth developing the skill if it wouldn't be usable in all areas. So they used the levitation magic instead, and you could use it in a lot of creative ways to get around things. Like, levitation was absolutely great, but then in later games, they removed levitation because they decided to have a very curated experience. Oblivion and Skyrim specifically, they wanted you to access things in a very specific order so that events could play out exactly as they intend them to, and no other way. And the result of that was they needed to nerf the player's movement. And the idea behind that is, in nerfing the player's movement, you had to experience things exactly in the order they intended you to. And yeah, that was pretty much it. It was to make things play out in the very cinematic way they intended you to experience them. We're buying all the alchemy ingredients here. That's why there's no levitation, no super jumping, nothing like that in Oblivion or Skyrim, because it would break the flow of how they want you to experience things. And you said it's lame. Of course it's lame. It is very lame. Yes, they want you to play their story, not make your own. Correct. This armor rack is full of herbs. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it is. I'll take your alchemy ingredients, thank you. This bookshelf, also full of herbs. Don't question it. Consume. Don't question. Oh no. Oh no. Putting away all the alchemy ingredients we bought. All right. Hide drugs in your books. Oh no. There you go. Ooh, yes. Exactly, a compass. I mean, I'm using the locator device to find items. Isn't that just affirmation that that they were correct all along to use map markers? Except for the fact that, I have to explore like 80% of the dungeon before the locator device activates and marks the location. Anyway, let's go in the palace. It's locked. Why is the palace locked? Climb. Nothing. Go. Okay. We are going to just kind of loiter out here for an hour, I think. Loiter for an hour. And the palace is open. Very good. I think the lady's up here. We're going to give her her wand back. Somehow I knew you'd find my wand. I'll happily give you the gold I was saving for the wand's ransom. Very good. So we're still undependable, but we've done some good things here today. Very happy with our progress. By the way, you can see the map marker from the dungeon still in my sight there. Whenever I'm in a place and until it decides to wear off, I can still see the location of the dungeon far, far away. Let's see here. Ooh. Yes. Okay, so Todd Howard wasn't the end all of development at Bethesda during Morrowind's time. He made a lot of important decisions, but you have to understand that things went through the creative lead, Ken Rolston. And understanding that really informs you as to why things turned out the way it did. Ken Rolston, by the way, didn't have a high opinion of Todd Howard after their work together. Let's just say. Okay, we're going to go ahead and check this. I'm pretty sure I had the alchemy. No, I haven't bought the alchemy ingredients yet. So we're going to buy all these alchemy ingredients as we go because it's good. Very good, very good. Buying gemstones and other things. Why not? Good. That should do it. Yes, followed is getting a TV series from the producers who made Westworld. You know how Westworld went from like one of the best shows on TV to being completely unwatchable in a single season? Those people. Okay, let's go ahead and go over to the White Guard, because that isn't terrible at all. Now, Dwarfing Chasm, obviously. No one wants to go to the White Guard, that's for sure. Besides, they discriminate against an Argonian like myself. Alright, let's see here. We're gonna get a meal here, specifically some stew. We are invigorated by the meal. think we'll go ahead and... you never watched it after season 1? I'm not going to recount what happened here, let's just say. He said it's not Amazon. Okay, look, Amazon, Netflix, people like that, like outlets like that, they go and they hire a particular producer or producers, and those people then go out and hire a studio, and those people go out and, you know, get the actors, and it all kind of trickles down from, say, Amazon or Netflix or whatever. But Amazon basically hired the producers who made Westworld, and they're going to make the decisions from there. So it's never just Netflix that's making something. It's Netflix gets a creative person or a business person in order to facilitate the rest of it. And that's why you can have something really awesome on Netflix and at the same time get Death Note USA, which is atrocious and terrible and you should never watch. Okay. King greets you with a warm welcome. Look at that. That person's in the correct spot. That person is levitating. Yes. Okay. Let's get moving now. Going to actually head on over to Merhope Hall, 8 hours away. Don't worry about it. It's all fine. Ooh. Very good. Interrupt. What do we got? Centaurs. They're gonna be behind me. See, look at that. They ambush. All directions. Ha. Well, you say Hollywood's good at making first seasons. You have to understand that first seasons have to rely heavily on their source material. Daedric Greaves, yes. That is good. Very good. As I was saying, Hollywood has to rely heavily on its on the source material for a first season, and then afterward, after they've gone through the source material, things turn garbage because the showrunners just hire a writer and say, do whatever you want, and the writers are typically terrible who actually write for television. Not saying they always are. You get some good people on occasion who write good things, usually single episodes. But that's why episodic shows versus serialized shows episodic shows tend to go better. And the reason the episodic shows go better is because they individual writers can do their own little stories. You know, that they're like, this happened, okay, it's done. We're going to move on from that scenario to the next one. So if one particular episode is terrible, then the next writer can come in and do something completely different. That's why episodic shows tend to be better. Not saying they are. Like, my favorite sci-fi show, Babylon 5, was a serialized show. And it had some kind of bad episodes, but for the most part, it was a good show all the way through. So, let's see here. Yeah, we're fine. My point is that when you have a bad writer for a serialized show, you don't just get a bad episode, you get a bad show entirely. Whereas, you know, if you have a bad writer in an episodic show, well, then you can always count on the next episode being different. And what's the difference? A serialized show is where one episode leads into the next, leads into the next, leads into the next. It, the storyline builds on top of itself. Whereas an episodic show will be something along the lines of, how how do I put this? It'll be along the lines of like Law and Order, for instance, or NCIS. You know, a show where you have a case or an event that this particular story arc plays out over the course of a single episode or 2 episodes, and then it's done. And then we move on to the next arc, the next storyline arc. Star Trek, for example, it was in the past for the most part episodic, and then they decided that they needed to turn it serialized, let's just say. Yeah. Why you like anime? There are a lot of episodic animes. Yes. What was it? God damn that thing. I'm trying to remember where that picture was. God, there was a great picture regarding Law and Order. I'm scrolling down. Ah, yeah, here it is. So, this is when we're not going to talk about the politics of this, okay? Like, I'll start timing you guys out if you do. But this particular panel that they did in Fortnite about racism in America, I looked at this picture and I immediately, my first thought was, in the criminal justice system, hate crimes are considered especially heinous. Basically, you got the lawyers on the left, the cops on the right. You know, like, that was their... I could have sworn that this was going to be like a Law and Order series when I looked at the picture initially. But we're not going to discuss this in any depth. I just want to say, like, the advertising was fucking hilarious. Like it's just straight out of Law and Order or something. All right. Yes. Dun dun. Exactly. Yep. Yes. Not gonna be hunting. We're gonna keep going. Right. Okay. Ooh, easy to grasp character quirks. Yes. In a quick in an episodic show, if you establish the characters, give them strong character traits, it's very easy for writers to write an individualized plot using those character traits, and then leaving for someone else to write the next episode, because those traits stay the same regardless. Oh, Steambub, no one's apolitical entirely. A lot of the time when you say, you want to be apolitical, what you're actually saying to people who are extremely magnetized on one end or the other, you're basically saying, I'm going to stand in the way of your progress. I am going to fight for the status quo. Keep things the same. Like, your work for change is for naught because I'm here standing in your way. I want to keep things exactly how they are. You see, that's what they see, Steambub. And that's why your stay apolitical message is actually pissing certain people off. All right? I kind of agree with you personally. I'm just saying, take some time, look at it from their perspective. Okay? Like, try to put yourself in their shoes and understand why they're insane. All right, let's keep going. You there, I must speak with you. I'm a traveling knight. Yes. Looking. Okay, so basically, this knight wants to duel me to the death. All right. Yes, this knight wants to duel me to the death, and I'm going to fight him to the death. Thank you. May our battle be legendary. All right. Very good. Very good. Where is he? There. Oh, there she is. God, I pinched her 4 gold. I'm going to fight this knight to the death with my knife. Okay. He's missing a lot so far. As you strike him down, the knight takes their final breath. It should be as you strike them down, because you don't know which gender it turned out to be. Sometimes it will spawn a male warrior, sometimes it'll spawn a female warrior. Yes. No, Kamer, 2 updates now. It hasn't been unhandled, undefined. Yes. All right, so the knight passes into the afterlife. There we go. Yeah, you're right. I used the wrong terminology. Yes. That's why I say use they, because it could be either one. You don't know when you're generating it, because you generate a knight. Yes. Got to redo it to go back to Sur Undefined. Yes. I still remember when someone on Discord was freaking out about that, about it being fixed. Yeah, that was a month ago, though. Well, ain't this a surprise? It turns night and suddenly there are bandits. I'm gonna turn on our lantern so we can see them better. Let's use our toga of lightning. Toga! Damn. I'm just gonna use the toga until it's all used up. It's funny how she doesn't act when she's getting hit. She gets confused for a second. Anyway. Okay. Stretching here. Yes. There are things I could say, Steambub, that would actually, about your comment there, but if I did that, it would start a conversation I don't want to have right now. Let's just say. Okay. I'm looking at everything. It's my wagon. I gotta put everything in the wagon. All right, let me see here. Dexter was an interesting show. It really was. It really was. In the beginning, at least. But, you know, you get a showrunner with a good idea. You get writers who write to that idea. And then later on, you get other writers who get, well, different ideas. And eventually a show, even an episodic show, can be ruined. Let's just say. They aren't immune to the problems of that. Here, he said Dexter was fun because you could watch the show and read the books and not spoil each other. Oh God. Yeah. Well, again, like what ends up happening is you start off. You start off with these initial. More bandits. Who's there? I'm gonna say. You start off with these initial ideas, and then, like, remember that Hollywood has a tendency to write toward the source material in the beginning, and then it diverges as they give the writers more freedom to do their own themes. And unfortunately, the vast majority of television writers are terrible hacks. Again, I need to qualify this every fucking time I say it, but not every writer who writes for television is terrible. The problem is most of them are. And that poses an issue when they start using their own material. Oh, 13 Reasons Why. Okay, 13 Reasons Why is a pretty good novel. That when they ran out of material, turned into utter shit, and then got even worse in the 3rd season, and it's been renewed for a 4th season. Yeah. All right. Looks like scrap of parchment for Dunval's Guard. Very good. Elven dagger. I'm not using an elven short sword. I'm using a Daedric dagger that occasionally gets swapped out when I'm looting things. What do I think about Star Trek Picard? I think that they Patrick Stewart is a world-class Shakespearean actor and should go back to doing that and stop giving people conditions on what he will and won't do when he signs on to a television project. I don't want to wear a uniform. I don't want to command a starship. And the people the showrunners were like, okay, as long as we can get you on this show, we'll agree to those terms. It's like, Patrick Stewart is a world-class Shakespearean actor. Do what you want to do, Patrick Stewart, but he is part of the problem with Picard. I mean, not to say that the writers aren't probably terrible, not to say that the showrunners probably have terrible ideas of what Star Trek is, but I'm saying that Patrick Stewart himself is part of the problem as well. So it just comes down to the whole thing is terrible on like every level. Yes. Okay. There you go. That's yes. That is Star Trek The Next Generation re-edited to work like Star Trek Picard. Let me see. That's a tavern. Yeah, the Queen's Sword. Everyone loves the Queen's Sword. We're gonna sleep in the Queen's Sword. Damn, this is a dining hall. Just looking at the wow. Amazing. Okay. Hello, sir. Room for the night. Yes. Room is free for a knight such as you. Hey, look at this jester. It warms my heart to see you, whispers in shadow. Any news? The mixers of so Stendar and Mara severed their alliance. Interesting. And hello, miss. How are you? Hail, Argonian. You look like you've seen some adventures. I'm retired from all that. Every once in a while, she likes to reminisce about the good old days. How about you test some knowledge? Holy shit. So she used to be an adventurer like you. Then I guess she took all her clothes off. All right, let's go ahead and we'll answer 5 questions. See how I do. Magicka is determined by a combination of intelligence and willpower. No. Strength is determined by maximum health. No. More endurance makes you lose less stamina per action. Yes. Unfortunately, I think all her answers were no. And besides, that's too meta for me. That's far too meta for me. Those are just gameplay concepts, not actual, not actual story. Those don't fit at all. Gonna go and cast light, and then buoyancy, then jumping. Now we'll climb into bed. This is how you get your climbing skill up, is you climb into bed. There we go. Very, very stressful. Very, very taxing. It triggers your climbing skill. All right. Now we jump. We get our jumping skill. This is how we raise the jumping. Very good. We're done. No skill ups, unfortunately, but that's okay. It's 8 a.m. We're gonna save the game and continue. Ooh, let's go ahead and Do I think push for graphical realism prevents modern games from being as complex as Daggerfall? Well, of course it does. I did a whole video on how limitations work within the creative space. Like, there are limiters that prevent you from doing that. All right. Cool, moving on here. Order of the hour. Going this way. Why is this a residence? Isn't it a bookstore? This is a bookstore, but this guy took it over and he turned it into his own personal house. I guess the bookstore closed down. Fine. That's interesting. You should take the sign down, though. I find it odd whenever I see a tavern that's clearly a tavern, but then it's a residence. And it happens occasionally. It's not even with the Daggerfall Unity engine, it's just part of the game. Yes. And here we go. Market. Apples and oranges. I get this quite frequently. People say you can't compare apples and oranges, but I can, and I do. And I go, well, not meaningfully. I'm like, what are you talking about? Meaning is what you assign to it yourself. And I tell those people, you just don't want to have fun. What's wrong with you? All right. Let's see here. Put this stuff away. Yeah. Good. Everything looks great so far. Ooh. Does Skyrim have dynamic building ownership system? Yes, actually. As in, if you were to kill Belethor, someone else takes over his shop, that person inherits the ownership, as I understand it. Not great, is it? It really isn't. It's a predetermined person who will move in and take over specific things. Like, we're gonna buy some oil as well. But yeah, it's not a dynamic system, it's a static one. Like, there are stores that will have 1 to 2 backup owners. Alright, let's see. Ooh. Why don't you get some grapple? It's grape and apple. Ooh, looks dynamic, but it's a bunch of factions. Well, yeah, what I'm saying, it looks dynamic, but in reality, it is not. What if you kill the guy who works for Belethor? Uh-oh. See. Belethor has an NPC on his faction that inherits. Yeah, it seems dynamic, but it isn't. Pretty much. And so that's what stops games like Skyrim isn't actually going for the concept of a simulation, even though people think it is. Like, people prescribe a lot more to Skyrim than it actually is. It's a pretty low-quality sandbox game that is far too buggy for the amount of money they put into it. And I think that's okay, I guess, because we all get to make memes and enjoy adventures that are plagued with hilarious bugs. And it's very exploitable in like 7 different ways. So, yeah, I mean, you said, you mean there are very few games that approach the simulation Skyrim has? Yeah. That's funny. It's not a simulation at all. That's why I'm trying to say it's a sandbox. And it's a very predetermined sandbox with a predetermined story. Now, you can mod a lot into Skyrim and make it a lot more dynamic than it is. But, yes. Let's see here. Ooh. Yes. Fallout 4 is arguably a better sandbox than Skyrim, yes. And that's because it's extremely dynamic and terrible, but it's extremely dynamic. I think, again, I really enjoy using stuff like War of the Commonwealth and other mods. Horizon Survival is one of my favorite. In fact, I really do need to play Horizon Survival soon. I intended before I got sick and then my computer broke to do Wastelanders at the same time as Fallout 4. I was going to play both. And I was going to really enjoy that. And I never got around to it, unfortunately. But I really do want to play Horizon again. Let me see here. I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to go and what I want. Archaeologists Guild. Let's go down there. Let's have some fun over at the Archaeologists Guild. Either that or, yeah, we don't have any active quests, so it's fine. It is absolutely fine. Okay. You're talking about Sim Settlements, and unfortunately, Sim Settlements needs a compatibility patch, number 1, to run with Horizon, and number 2, a lot of Horizon's mechanics become trivialized by Sim Settlements. Like, it's Horizon, they need to actually make a proper compatibility patch and not just a quick one that makes the game not break. See here. Archaeologists Guild. Alright. Hello, miss. We are going to receive training in lockpicking. It's spent 3 hours. Let's sleep here. Next, we'll have a chat with this guy. Wastelanders is alright, I guess. It's better than Fallout 4, I argue. Because at the very least, you have your stats affecting your conversations to a decent extent. Did ESO brought back archaeology? Well, I mean, compare it to archaeology in World of Warcraft, and terrible, I suppose, which is hilarious. Looking at one or two things, sending me. All right. Oh, Kamer didn't tell me that there was an update to his Villager Immersion Overhaul. That's kind of important. Yeah, I mean, apparently he updated it, and now we get NPCs on the walls as well, like properly on the walls, not just at the doors. That's cool. Let's see. Let me download that really quick. Yes, Legacy of the Dragonborn is better at archaeology by far. Let me see. 5.01 Linux. All right, downloading right now. Downloaded. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and close the game and reopen. Save it here. There we go. No problems here. So we're going to close the game. We're going to update our Villager Immersion Overhaul version, considering we still got those bugs going on. They should be fixed by this new update. Games, Daggerfall Unity data. streaming assets, mods, and the German there. Overwrite file. Okay. Looks good. Muso game. By that, of course, you mean like Fate Extella? Because the answer is yes, but it depends. I mean, like the Gundam ones are kind of trite, and but like Hyrule Warriors, absolutely love Hyrule Warriors. Really depends. I'd say I don't like them all just because they are quote unquote Muso games. Yeah. So I'd say I like a good deal of them, but it really depends on the individual thing. All right, so as you can see, errors may happen during gameplay. It doesn't matter. We're upgrading. Yes. Yes, have mercy. Exactly. All right. We need someone who is completely trustworthy to deliver a powerful artifact. Sure. The Staff of Magnus, the Stuff of Legends, needs to get to Rayford Moor in 53 days. Oh, we need to deliver the Staff of Magnus to the palace. Okay. This is fine. Holy crap. Okay. Ooh. What does the Staff of Magnus do? That's a very good question. Let me see here. Okay, we need to get to the Rayford Moor, which is 11 hours away. We can do that. We actually have several... We have basically less than 2 months to deliver it. We don't need to deliver it right away, but I suspect as long as we're in possession of it, we'll get attacked by Daedra and other nasties. So we need to be careful, for sure. Ooh. Yeah, Hyrule Warriors is really good. Also, the main villain isn't Ganon. See here. Oh, thank goodness. Look, there's no more levitating people. Let's climb this and have a look. Yes! They are properly on the walls. Yeah, they are actual... So if you were to climb the walls, they'd be up here. That's kind of nice. Ow. Oh, that was just a normal adventure. That's fine. Hello there. Good day to you. Yes. Any news? Oh, but ask bluntly. What's the talk of the town? Don't spread this around. But Kenzo Set and the Dark Brotherhood are working together. Oof. There we go then. Got it. We're going north. We're gonna travel directly there. I don't want to get jumped by Daedra, but I know it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. Interrupt your journey. Giants! Flock of birds. I'm not gonna hunt birds while giants are attacking me. What are you thinking? Okay. Running. Archery. Still running. And here we go. I shot through his legs by accident. My Daedric bow just broke. I have another. Not that big a deal. It's just... My goodness. Okay. Good. Yeah, I honestly thought, Kamer, that the lady got angry that I climbed the wall, so she jumped down and started attacking me. That's what I initially thought. It's like, hey, you climbed the wall, prepare to die. That's what I originally thought happened. And I was like, no, this can't be. And so I talked to her, and she was just a normal peasant. Yes. All right. Ooh. Okay. Checking something here. Almost done. Never should have come here. Right. We got banditos. I was poking at something else and did not see that I ran into a group of bandits. Quickly shuffle through your wagon and find a Daedric dagger and a Daedric bow, maybe? Wait. Yeah, I knew I had more Daedric bows than that. There we go. Okay, I'm not successful. Pick 2 pockets. We're running. Then we're going for the shooty bang bangs. Okay. We tried to pick their pockets, okay? That's the best scenario here. Good. Now, you have a primary weapon and an offhand weapon, and you can switch between the weapons quickly, or more quickly than equipping. That's pretty much it. Yeah. It's just basically a primary weapon and offhand weapon, Diablo style. And you know that like a big broadsword will take up both hands, so you can't swap quickly if you have a giant broadsword, or if you have a shield, for example. It should really be more like Diablo, in my opinion, where you just have like 2 equipment sets and you just switch between them quickly. I know it's not realistic, but it's a lot more fun. Ooh, Being rid of a lot of text in Warm Ashes Wilderness. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree. Really depends. I'd say certain things could probably use more text, but most encounters don't need them. Oh, here we go. And the encounters that do have text probably need more variation. So you don't encounter what feels like the same encounter 15 times. You know, if it's like Ain't This a Surprise does feel a little different to Snap Who's There, and Snap Who's There does feel a little bit different to what's an Argonian doing here? Hope your armor has good resale value. The problem is that despite those feeling different to one another, if you play for 5-10 hours, you're going to encounter that same scenario multiple times. You see, when I closed my game and reloaded it, these fish became inedible. You can't eat them. Can't do it. All the food I picked up is basically worthless now. I'm gonna go pick up some ration packs from my wagon, just in case. There we go. Let's see. I'm actually gonna cast stamina. There we go. Continuing to my destination. Ooh, I'll mount your head on my wall. Bandits. At a graveyard. Jeez. Just a group of bandits at a graveyard. Wait. Rotting flesh. The dead walks once more. Oh no. Zombies. These bandits are in league with the necromancers. Bandits in league with the necromancers. The zombie's dead. Good. Alright. I killed that fly. Oof. There's a fly in the room. Fly on the wall. Yes. I think every, like, 12 hours or so I get another fly. Very annoying. Good. Getting chilly. Oh no. Whatever shall I do? The answer is probably to equip a better cloak. During fight? Yes, during fight. Actually, how about... Wait. Are you kidding me? All these cloaks? There's a good cloak. Nice, thick, heavy cloak. Alright, pinch 4 gold pieces off her. Yeah, that's fine. Good. What's a Dawnbringer? When has that ever been a thing? I think that's something Skyrim made up. Okay. Meridia's artifact was always the Ring of Khajiit. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, in other words, instead of seeing a campsite in Warm Ashes, you'll actually, about reading about a campsite, it'll actually spawn, like, it'll actually spawn, like, a campsite dynamically that you will then, see enemies crowded around or something. It makes sense. Okay. Let's continue on. We're not going in that graveyard, or in the actual tomb over there. No reason to, really. Just a group of travelers. Yep, group of travelers. From there. Goodness gracious. Keep going. Still looking. Nothing so far. Take just a moment and stop. Then, I want to eat an orange, but I can't even do that. We're gonna keep going then. This makes me sad. Okay. Checking 2 more things. Cool. No, everything looks fine. Salutations, and may Arche bless your journey. Arche be praised. It's nice to find a fellow worshipper out there. I'm impressed. I am really impressed. Okay. Keep going. Yep. I am a patriarch of the Arche Temple, which means I am as high ranked as you can get without throwing your adventuring life away and becoming a dedicated temple priest. Quickly just go into Tamgate for the rest of the night, I think. We've been traveling way too far, and I just noticed this town right here. You're gonna notice that the game lags like that. Like, the game just locks up for a second. That's actually Villager Immersion Overhaul. Like populating the area. If it's during the day, it actually chugs a lot harder and will lock up for a few seconds sometimes. It's kind of funny. But I checked, and it's actually Villager Immersion Overhaul that's causing it. Whether, like, if I turn it on, it locks up like that. If it isn't on, then it doesn't lock up like that. Interesting. Because on my old computer, that was really severe. But on this computer, it doesn't care at all. It barely registers. Let's see. Pig in Helm. I think it's also a little more intensive in Windows for some reason. The lockup, I mean. Haven't really figured out why. Alright. Hello, sir. Room for the night. Yes, the room is free for a knight such as you. Damn right. Hello, miss. She's got her own desk and everything. Yes. Any news? Everybody knows that Daggerfall had a grudge against Mara, but now they're really going at it. Really? Hello, sir. How we doing? Any news? Let's see here. Oh, Debella are out to get the dancers. Well, the dancers don't actually have a presence in the game. There are no NPCs part of the dancers faction. So, they can fight all they want, doesn't matter. Alright. I'm gonna do a couple crazy things here. Just pushed restoration a bit. Cast jumping. Cast buoyancy. Cast light. We're just basically pushing this. Yeah, it's not midnight yet, so it'll be like 7 a.m. roughly when I wake up. Oh, hello. Okay, isn't the best roll, but I'm not really pushing rolls, so thinking about how we want to distribute these points. I'm thinking we go with endurance, and we just kind of No. Intelligence. I want to get my spell points maxed out. That's what I want to do. I want to max out my spell points. I was looking at it. I'm actually happy with the stat spread the way it is right now. So, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, we are fully healed. It's 8:47. Very good. Utilize the warring factions. Yeah, exactly. We're not going to save over there. Save over there. We're still carrying the Staff of Magnus. Okay. The Prostitutes faction is actually in the game. It just isn't used very much. Let's see here. There are NPCs that are attached to the Prostitutes faction. They just don't have any quote-unquote services or unique dialogue. I think it was... Checking something here. Here we go. I think I found it. Oops. I clicked the wrong button. Let me actually click on the right option. What is the right opinion? There it is. Okay, so this was one of my other things here. You can see right here. You're in the Order of the Candle? I'm in the Prostitutes. We're both allied with the Crafters of Julianos. Anyway, I'm always glad to help. See? There you go. There you go. And if you want that picture there, you can find it at that particular post. I linked it to you there in the chat. That's where you can find the picture. Go right. move on, however. We are going. So, we aren't at our destination yet, but we're going to go take some time and go shopping. So, 3 prostitute-orient things got uploaded around the same time. Yes, absolutely. 3 prostitute mods got uploaded around the same time. I was going to say that I would like to see the NPCs of the Prostitutes Guild maybe have you like hunt people and get money that they are owed, or maybe someone is stalking one of their girls and you want to put them, take care of that person, like beat them in a fight or whatever. Stuff like that, actually do services for the guild as opposed to, what everyone else is thinking. The Lover's Lab stuff. So, most of it is, most of these mods just contain pornographic content for the player to consume, but I would like for a freelance adventurer to be able to actually do services for the Prostitutes Guild as far as, again, hunting down people that owe them money or stuff like that. And hunting down non-guild pimps. Basically, I mean, it would be something interesting. All right. Ooh. Okay. Buy a fish there. Buy another fish there. Wait, or that oil? Grab some more oil. Important. Another fish. Like 1 fish on each rack. Kind of ridiculous. Alright, we're leaving. We're leaving town. We just kind of came here to stock up on food. Stuff like that. Very good. Oof. But yeah, I mean, it's very clear that the people who made mods for the Prostitutes Guild really just wanted to use them for their own perverted wishes, I should say. And I was thinking, you can actually build content around, like, an adventurer solving problems that the Prostitutes faction has. Treating them like a reputable business, Like, this particular merchant has a problem, solve it. Same thing with the Prostitutes Guild. They might have overly clingy customers who don't understand boundaries outside of work, stuff like that. All right, mithril pauldron, silver cuirass. Maybe someone kidnapped a child of one of them, Like, there's so many options for that. Yes. Alright. Anyway. Moving on. Well, I mean, Daggerfall already has nudity. And there, 3 people already made prostitute, basically, sexual scenario mods, so it's not like Daggerfall is missing out. The vanilla game already contains the nudity. So they didn't have to work very hard. Stop where you are, give me your gold now. I still see that fly I tried to spot earlier, bugging me. Orbiting a light bulb. I don't actually have a fly swatter, and that bugs me to no end. I want to kill it. I have such animosity. Bugs. We're gonna fight this. Not the. Oh God! There's a bandit with bears and giants. Oh no! You better give me your money, or I'll sick my bears and giants on you. Oh no! Holy crap! Yeah, that's he's got the muscle to back up his demands there. Okay. You said the bard service? The bards hate the Order of the Candle, so they won't even talk to me. Ah, jeez, the guy's after me now. Come on. Alright, I got this guy. Yeah, you say situations like this is why Warmash is one of the best mods. You're saying that basically to Warmash's creator there. That's why he made that little face in chat. Alright, let's see here. Gamer is one of the better Daggerfall mod makers, and by that I mean actually takes the time to look at potential problems and not only fix them, but you know, take time to learn more, I would say, because a lot of people just kind of have a way of doing things and they stick to their way of doing things. So far, Kamer has been, let's just say, expanding, looking for better ways to do what they already do. That's what I'm trying to say. And most mod makers just, again, they get stuck in a certain way of doing things and refuse to learn or grow or change. And like, well, it's worked thus far. Why should I try something better? You know, you've found the limitations in the way you were doing things, and then you started rebuilding. That's good. All right, we're gonna take a moment. I was thinking about going into that town, but you know what? We're gonna just keep going. How would you resolve canon without doing something? You pick an ending. You would pick, like, you as the developer would say, this is the ending. And some people are like, but my character did this ending, or my character did that ending. You just have to say, no, it's this specific ending. Now, actually, believe it or not, one of my favorite games recently is Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger X. That particular game, it's right here. This is actually, it takes place in the bad ending for Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. So it assumes that you got the bad ending where Gunvolt and what's her name died. Like, they both died, and the rival Ix basically takes over, and he's fighting a losing battle. And it's really nice because they could have just gone and continued with the good ending and said, oh, well, this is a side game about Ix and his stuff. But they didn't. They instead went and said, no, we're going to explore the bad ending and like make this spin-off. And there's Azure Striker Gunvolt 3, which is going to come out, and it's going to follow the good ending. So they've literally split off the timeline between Luminous Avenger X, which follows the bad ending, and then Azure Striker Gunvolt 3, which follows the good ending. So, you know, I'm super interested in Gunvolt 3, obviously, because it's going to be part of a different timeline. But yeah, I mean, the main character in the bad ending of 2 gets murdered by a person he trusts, his mentor, basically. And his mentor becomes the villain of... I'm still trying to kill this fly. But yeah, the villain becomes the... the mentor who betrays the main character becomes the villain of Luminous Avenger X. And whereas... he's killed in the good ending, so he's no longer relevant. Kind of thing. Anyway, hey DB Fig, good to see you. Good to see you. I know you were playing Daggerfall at the same time, and I kind of felt a little sorry because, you know, I like to support your streams and all. So playing the same game at the same time was not what I had in mind. It was just something I had set up about a half hour before you announced it. All right. Either way, hostile encounter. We avoided it successfully. Very good. I was gonna say that. Yeah, I mean, before I got distracted, Azure Striker Gunvolt is flat out. For those who don't know, the people who made Mega Man, what do you call it? Mega Man Zero games. They went to make Mighty Number 9, and it just shows you that they're a good studio, right? But they made a terrible game. Why'd they make a terrible game? Because Inafune is awful at his job. All right, he's just bad, and the Mega Man games were good despite him, not because of him. And afterward, they made Gunvolt 2, Luminous Avenger X, and now they're making Gunvolt 3. And I'm super like I love the Gunvolt series. They're it's different to what do you call it, to the Mega Man Zero series, but I think Luminous Avenger X has been the best in the series thus far. Let me see here. You can't wait till Legends 3 comes out. Oh boy. Yeah, exactly. Inafune was pretty much exposed after that mess. Yes. Yes, exactly. Now, what's funny is Inafune was going to make Mega Man Universe, which arguably was a good thing, because it was kind of like Mega Man Maker, but then on top of that, it had co-op and a bunch of other really cool things. And he just kind of left that project on the ground. He bought the 3DS for it and Kid Icarus. I mean, Kid Icarus Uprising is like one of my favorite games ever. I'm serious. I love Kid Icarus Uprising. In fact, hold on. I have to mess with something. Yes, I keep the freaking stand for the DS. I keep the freaking stand around, so literally, I can play my I can play my thing here, yeah. But yeah, you see, whoops, I dropped a thingamajigger. What do you call it? A Sailor Jupiter, I think. Vault Duck. This is Vault Duck. Very important. Very important. Now, as far as Game Boy goes, I'm gonna say I got my Game Boy. This is everyone. You see, the joke was I always called the DS the Game Boy, and people kept going, "That's not a Game Boy. That's a DS." And so my wife got me this case so I can say the Game Boy. It's a Game Boy now, bitch. That's basically the story behind that. All right. Let's see. Yes. My wife also got me this Shantae figure. Now, she got me Mike the Liar as well, but unfortunately, she kind of sent it to my in-laws without realizing it, her parents. So I have to wait until later in the year to pick it up, basically. I would have had it already had there not been a plague, you know? The plague and the riots and more plague. I haven't been able to go pick it up. Normally, business takes me to California at least twice a year. So I would have been able to pick it up regardless. But for reasons, you know, I just haven't been able to get over there. Let me see here. Oh, by the way, you see, I got this recently. This is BB-8. What's it called? R2D2 and D0DO. And I got this. I got this for $249 at King Supers because nobody buys Star Wars shit anymore. Because the franchise is basically garbage. But I just wanted the R2D2, to be honest. I just wanted a little R2D2. So I bought the droid package just to get a little R2D2 because it was freaking $2. It's just the newest acquisition. Those are the kind of prices I'm looking at. They're like $2, you know. Ah, boy, I'm a cheap ass. Okay, so what have we got here? Bears, freaking bears. You know, it's on sale or free. Yeah, pretty much. There are some things that aren't worth free. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I was actually discussing this with my wife earlier, I think yesterday. There are certain things that aren't worth free. And it's just like, because if free costs you time, then, you know, that's time you could spend doing something else, basically. Moving on now. Going. Like, you have a finite amount of time in your life, so. Alright. Interrupt your journey. Ah, crap. Aha! Centaurs. Centaurs! I am so happy that I mastered my archery, though. Made this a lot easier. Plus, Dwarven Battle Axe. That's a good one. See what else we get next. Daedric Pauldron. Actually, this Daedric Pauldron is damaged. Hold on. I'm trying to find out how damaged this Daedric Pauldron is. And the answer is it's new. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. I was gonna try to... How do you make it run so fast? You got an i7 with 16 gigs of RAM. It only runs at 15 FPS. Interesting. Well, here's the thing. All right, let me see here. So I'm running a Ryzen 6-core 12-thread processor. I'm running 32 gigabytes of RAM, and I have a 6 gigabyte graphics card. And honestly, I'm going to open up my system monitor right now. Okay, so opening up my system monitor, Daggerfall with the Ultra HD texture pack is using 20% of my CPU and 4.8 gigabytes of RAM. And that's with the Ultra HD texture pack. Without that Ultra HD texture pack, it would barely use any RAM at all. So understanding that, it's obviously not capping out your processor, and it's not capping out your RAM. However, your graphics card, on the other hand, I think that your 1 gigabyte GPU is probably too weak to run that well. I think that's your bottleneck, is your GPU, most likely. So, I am also running on Linux, keep that in mind, so I do not have the overhead of Windows. Like, I'm using a pretty heavy version of Linux, which only takes up 500 gigabytes of RAM. Gigabytes? Megabytes. 500 megabytes of RAM. Holy crap. It only takes up 500 gigabytes. I have several terabytes of RAM ready to go. No, I do not. I have 32 gigs of RAM, and my Linux is pretty heavy, so it's using about 500 megabytes of RAM. That's the answer. So I don't have a huge overhead on my system, actually. However, I do. God, look at these people just walking back and forth up this magnificent hill. Wow, amazing. Yes. What's the minimum GPU? Probably a 4 gigabyte card, but even then you need to check the clock speed, because like what your gigahertz is kind of a big deal. So, see that mountain? You can climb it. Oh my! You probably want to be running like 3 gigahertz for sure. The KDE isn't that heavy anymore. Most environments use the same thing. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be gnoming anytime soon, that's for sure. 500 gigabytes of RAM must be Chrome. You know that Chrome, that Google, what do you call it? The Google operating system is actually drastically reducing its RAM usage in a new patch, apparently, or a new update, I should say. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to look at a graphics card that runs at maybe 3 gigahertz and has at least 4 gigabytes of RAM, like VRAM, I should say. I'm running 6 gigabytes of VRAM, but like Chrome releases RAM when other applications need it. Well, I'm running Brave as my default browser right now, and people are like, actually, Brave pushes referral links, and I'm like, okay, I don't care. But it's one of those. It bugs some people, and I get that. I totally get that. Let's see here in the palace. I need to talk to a certain someone in the palace. I think it's not you. No, not you. There's someone else in the palace I need to speak to. I get why it would bug some people, but hey, it's the same thing as hey, this produces advertisements. Skeptoland. I don't see any advertisements. Hello, sir. The Staff of Magnus. This will this will be great for the task we're planning. Thank you for bringing it without harm. We didn't allot a formal reward out of our coffers, but we did want to show you our appreciation. Please take it. Lord, the freaking Lord's Mail? They gave me the freaking Lord's Mail. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. The Lord's Mail, sometimes called the Armor of Maurius, the gift of Kynareth, is an ancient cuirass of unsurpassable quality. It grants the power, the wearer the power to regenerate lost health, resist the effects of spells, and cure oneself of poison. It is said, whenever Kynareth deigns the wearer unworthy, the Lord's Mail will be taken away and hidden for the next champion. So it's cure poison and spell shield. There we go. Bam! This is fine. This is fine. Oh boy, the Armor of Maurius is fine. Let me see here. Quest is done, actually. How are the archaeologists appraising you? Maxed? Maxed archaeologist reputation. Damn right. I'm happy. We just got an artifact. This is not a problem. Okay. Sure what we're gonna do here. You're losing hope for cheap Nvidias? No. No, Nvidia is not cheap at all. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, let's see. The Unfortunate Bird. That's a nice tavern name. I'm gonna go check this area out. Good. Bandage there. Thank you. And nothing. Do a fish. Yes. I can't wait to log back in and have all my fish not work anymore. Another bandage there. And let's go. We're done here, I think. Ooh. AMD typically has good things. You just have to watch out with the drivers. Like, the driver support is always kind of dodgy. It's better than it used to be, don't get me wrong. It used to be awful. But now it's just kind of, oh, this game is having a problem. Wait for the driver update. Okay, the game's working fine now. It's one of those situations. Yeah, you buy the previous generation most of the time. If it weren't for certain features on the RTX cards that I wanted, like specific encoding for video projects, I wouldn't have even considered buying a 2060 Super. I would have gotten like a 1080 or something. You know, I have a 980 wrapped up in bubble wrap. XP Quest, thanks for subscribing. I was gonna say that I have a 980 Ti wrapped up. It just is missing some features I need out of the RTX line, which has nothing to do with actual RTX, like the ray tracing. Kind of funny. Like everyone's, everyone was like, or they were trying to hype up the actual ray tracing, and I don't use it at all. I use a bunch of secondary features that it has. Goodness. Like encoding video, for example. If I want to encode a video, it will render that video much faster using NVENC than it will using, just standard encoding, stuff like that. Ooh. Okay. Figure out exactly what we want to do here. An orange, obviously, no. Although, let's eat an apple and orange, not bread. Can I eat the other orange? Eat the other orange! No, that orange is garbage and you need to sell it. So apparently, yeah, when you load it, break. Old food, because the mod is busted. Well, bye, orange. There we go. Trying to figure out what we want to do now. We're actually in a pretty good situation here. I'm thinking we'll head on back to Wayrest. I really wish I could pick specific like they'd have a Couriers Guild and pick specific deliveries. Like, I want to go to this city next. Do you have any deliveries scheduled for this place that I can carry with me in my wagon? That's, I guess that's Elite Dangerous talking, because I've been playing that a lot recently. And it's, a 1-for-1 scale of the galaxy. And I've been doing a lot of like, oh, well, while I'm heading to Kuyo, can I get any Kuyo deliveries and stuff like that? It's, I do that all the time in Elite, is just, yeah, how about I carry 100 tons of this particular cargo over to this particular system? I have to go there anyway, That's just kind of in the situation I'm in right now. Just kind of scratching my head going, I could do that. Did I pass it? No, it's all the way at the bottom, damn. I thought it was kind of toward the middle. No, it's not. Okay. I think it looks good. Figure out exactly where we're going here. Checking a couple more things down. And yeah, let's head over to the capital to Wayrest. 15-hour journey. Actually, you know, since 15 hours away, maybe we won't get to Wayrest today. Let's head on over to Knightsboro, see if they've got anything for us. That might be a nice place to check out for a bit. Check the trade data. Yeah, but the difference is that Star Citizen is a tiny little sandbox with only a handful of places to visit. So, yeah, we managed to avoid the encounter, by the way. Yeah, again, like a tiny sandbox with, whereas I'm going to travel across the Empire to participate in a specific faction dispute. And by that, I don't mean actually fight for the faction. I mean, like, I'm going to spread that faction's influence over to another system so that they can take control of it. Stuff like that, you know. All the while making money for myself during doing courier jobs. Like, there's a point and purpose to what I'm doing beyond just oh, I'm a space trucker. Oof, that guy zapped me for a good amount of damage. I think Star Citizen's ideas are good, but they haven't been able to meaningfully implement any of it because it's still in its infancy. And unfortunately, that's a pretty long infancy. What, like 7 years now? Yeah, it's unfortunate because I have a ship package. I want to play. I just I won't have the I need a complete game, please. Thank you. Admittedly, I am looking at No Man's Sky, and I'm looking at Elite Dangerous for the features they're going to have. But I'm satisfied with both of those games with what they have right now. Whereas every time I look at Star Citizen, I go, it would be nice if it was actually finished. And that's really what Star Citizen did wrong. Yeah, oh, nice group of travelers. I was going to say, Star Citizen didn't commit to a goal that they could have actually finished. Like, they should have committed to a completable goal. Oh, nice. Akatosh priest somewhere around here. I'm going to ignore that. Yeah, there's an Akatosh priest in that group who said hello. I'm going to leave, though. Knightsboro. But yeah, I mean, see, so there's no game that scratches the freelancer itch, you say? Well, I honestly think if you're looking for freelancer, but you want space to be weird, you should check out Trainwiz's game that's in development right now. It's got a good demo for it. It's not, but it breaks immersion because it's not realistic. You idiot, this game's gonna have giant space monsters. Of course it's not realistic. Let's go. Continue. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Enemies nearby. Ow! Bandits. Why are the arrows disappearing? Are they crossing some invisible boundary line? Now look at this. The arrows are just ceasing to exist at this boundary line for some reason. Look at this. Like, what is happening? The enemy's arrows are just fine, but these arrows are disappearing. Just across this invisible boundary line here. Okay, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it as the arrows go away. Okay, so we'll check that out later, and if they still go away, yeah, you see the arrows actually hit her now, that I'm over here and shooting it over a different direction. But, yeah, that's the thing. That was an enemy bard. By the way, the bards hate me. They actually, like, the whole bard faction hates me. I've done, I don't actually know what I've done. Probably because I'm a member of the Knights of the Candle, and the Knights of the Candle have had a political dispute with the bard faction. That's what's going on right now. I've done nothing to actually anger the bards, but because I'm a member of the Knights of the Candle, the bards hate me completely. So, it's kind of funny. Ooh. Hey. Fucking. Oh boy. What we got? Harpies! Tons and tons of harpies. The sky rats attack in great numbers, as you can see. I don't know what that harpy's doing, trying to run away. I killed it though, while running from the other harpies. Oh, that is a huge harpy swarm though. I think it was like 6 of them. Maybe 7. Damn. Lantern, please. Thanks. Good. Well, I think all the harpies are done. Grab their loot. Get my arrows back at least. Took like 4 arrows to kill each harpy. Sometimes 2 if it crits. No problem. Double checking this entire section. Oof. Yeah, it was like 6 harpies. Alright. Come on. Anything else? Yeah. And, yeah. Okay. We're leaving. I say that, but I didn't mount up. There we go. Going to Knightsboro. Hopefully we'll get there in time. It's already night. Not happy about that, being out at night, getting attacked by bandits and harpies and things. Oh my. Ooh. Some people keep posting messages on my YouTube videos that say hotdatingonline.com and stuff like that, and it's kind of funny how they're trying to post spam, but the automatic spam filter just catches everything with a link in it. Yes. Automated spam filter won't let anything through that has a URL in it. I have to manually approve those, and I only check for them maybe, I don't know, once every so often. Alright, looks like the door's open. Like, the city's open, but the guards are here. Yeah. So the guards just let me in. I mean, it's not midnight yet, but still. Let's see. Alright, we're here in Knightsboro. Champion Remedies, Feather and Barbarian, Thieves Guild. Stuff to do over there. But let's head on up and around. I want to check out the different areas here, specifically the different shops. I want to have them all mapped out before I figure out where I want to sleep for the night. Besides, some of the shops might still be open. They stay open till like midnight. Not all of them. Like the bank closes early. But well, those were just banks. Damn. I hate the way there was always 2 banks next to each other. It always felt weird having the exact same type of store, like, adjacent to each other. I always thought that was a bit weird. They should be complementary type stores, you know, where you've got a, buying a bandage, by the way. But, there should be a store for armor next to a store for weapons, next to a store for, say, alchemy. And I always thought there should be actual potion shops in the game. And I get they kind of squirreled that away behind the guilds, but I'd like to see, like, extremely discount potions where, like, they weigh as much as a normal potion and they cost as much as a normal potion, but they're, like, watered down to 1/3 effectiveness or something stupid like that. Just, like, give all the alchemists in this game actual potions. Just, you know, make it so if you use the potion makers or the potion sellers in the guilds, you get not watered down high quality potions, and there's a difference. That's how I would do it anyway. Because I don't like the idea of the potions being 100% behind the guilds. That bugs the crap out of me, actually. Equipment store. Go check out that area. They say equipment store. It's mostly just food and books and general goods. Less equipment and more general. Generalized. More arrows, though. We always buy arrows. We only have 9,400 arrows. Whatever shall we do? Waiting for it to cap out at 99,999 arrows. Probably won't happen in this playthrough, to be honest. Though I have played for a long time, so anything's possible, actually. The Dead Ferry. That sounds like an amazing place to spend the night. Let's spend the night in the Dead Ferry. Hello, sir. Room for the night? Yes, the room is free for a knight such as you. There. Actually, let's check out the areas downstairs. Because that's just a little courtyard in the middle. That explains that. There's a bedroom here for this lovely young lady. Good to see you. Any news? So it looks like Barbara Hawkhart now rules over the Alakir Desert. Barbara Hawkhart! Nice. Nice. Okay, then. Had no idea that Barbara was the ruler. But I could see it now with a name like that. Holy crap. Let's climb this. Climb. Ooh. Very good. Couldn't you just gone up the stairs? I could have. That wouldn't be nearly as fun. There's a wagon they couldn't fit up here. They had to have teleported that wagon with magic. Too big. Too big. We'll sleep here. Thank you. Cast stamina. Let's find out what time. It's still not midnight yet. So cast jumping, cast buoyancy, cast light, climb into bed. How you get your climbing skill up? By climbing into bed. Then you want to get your jumping skill up, so jump on the bed. It's our, just imagine I'm doing push-ups or something, I don't know. We're working out before bed. On the bed? It's pretty dumb. Yes, it is.